What's going on, everybody? It's Captain Mike, and we got another episode of Get to Know, where we interview people that have followed their God given passions into incredible careers, lifestyles, hobbies, just living the passions that are inside them. I am Captain Mike, and I am glad that you are on here. And today, we have a guest. I know I say it all the time. Super pumped about all this, but I'm really pumped about today's guest for sure, because he's not somebody I expected to get on ever, and made a way. It's a guy I've been watching for a while. My kids love him. My wife loves him. I love him. And when I just need a quick smile, and he comes up on my algorithm, I know that a smile's coming. We got that unboxing guy, Lamar Wilson. Check him out.
Yesterday was SpongeBob's 39th birthday, and Paramount sent this to me. You gotta Power Rangers. Power Rangers. These are my most favorite gaming headphones in the world. These are the Logitech Astro A50X. Now, I appreciate this, but why did they even think I like SpongeBob? I got Squidward looking into the kitchen. This is SpongeBob looking out, looking through the side window. It's Patrick.
And there we go, Lamar. Welcome aboard, sir.
What a sizzle! I like that.
Oh,
That was nice.
it was fun. It was fun to make and go through your videos and seeing everything. And I got to tell you, so when we were talking back and forth about getting you on, I tell people here and there, hey, I might be getting this person. You are the first person that I've got on that my father-in-law was pumped about. He said, "Wait, you got that unboxing guy?" I said, "Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah." And so
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna give a shout out to Grandpa up in Maine, and I got Lamar
Hey, Grandpa.
here.
All
Yeah,
right.
Grandpa Bob there. So
Yeah.
Lamar, I am so thankful you came on, and you are quite well known in the creator space. I'll give a little insight on how we connected. We actually connected because I was blessed enough to win one of your contests, and you were able to send us a handheld gaming device that we're very excited in the Buzzard household. But you got that because you are that unboxing guy. Every time you turn around, you got something new coming to you. So tell us, how did you become that unboxing guy?
So it's an interesting story. So I'm in a creator for 16 plus years now. So I've done different types of content, a lot of tech, right? A lot of tech content, a lot of news type content in the beginning. But I used to watch a lot of tech unboxings, and they were a snooze fest, Michael. Like I would, like some would open the new iPhone and take off when they had plastic, take off the plastic, and
Yeah.
they would annoy me. It would take 3 to 5 minutes just to open the box, and I was like, I would get the box. I'm like, I just need to get in, and so I just tore the box open one day in video because I was excited, and I'm like, I'm not doing all that, and the audience like lost their mind. They
Right.
loved it so much, and so it came from me not liking unboxings on to start doing unboxings, and then people could not get enough of them, and so that's what I am. It's many years later, I'm still doing it, and what makes it really cool is that there's always something new.
Right.
Even if it's old, it's still new to me, and I use that philosophy a lot. I say if I haven't seen it, it's new to me. So it doesn't
Right.
matter, It's just that joy I have, and we could talk more about why I have that joy, but like
Yeah,
just that
yeah.
joy of getting those products. I really enjoy it.
There's definitely, it's almost like I call the Christmas effect. Like when you
That's
have
exactly
something
it.
that you need to open. I just
Hmm.
was with my son on a trip yesterday, and oh, lost you. There you go, back again. I was just with my son on a trip yesterday, and bought him a pack of baseball cards.
Hmm.
He barely had the door shut in the car before he was opening that bad boy. you
Yeah,
know.
it's that
So,
excitement. You mentioned Christmas. The type of upbringing I had, I didn't get to celebrate Christmas.
okay.
So or birthday. So I didn't have I didn't have those presents. So this thing isn't coming out of any kind of trauma, but
Yeah.
it's coming out of appreciation because I didn't have, and now that I do, like everything I get, I am so grateful for. And
Right.
so you see my videos for, I get a lot of stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's a every doesn't matter how small it is. I'm
Right.
like, this company, out of all the millions of people they could have chosen, chose me.
Yeah.
Sometimes exclusively
Yeah.
to showcase that, and I am eternally blessed on that. I never take it for granted because there could be somebody else that's doing this.
1000%. Yeah, and
Yeah.
my wife and I, our basement's like a toy room, and it's basically because we got everything that we
You
didn't
have a
get as
basement?
kids.
Oh, you're so lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Out in LA, out
Yeah.
there, it's not a thing.
I will love a finished basement. Oh my, you know
Oh,
what I would the arcade machines and all of
oh
my childhood
yeah,
stuff I couldn't have. What I would pinball would be number one. I'd have a
yeah.
pinball.
Of who?
Not sorry, not pinball.
Oh,
Why did I say that? Foosball.
foosball. Oh yeah,
Foosball. Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I have a foosball table.
Oh yeah. Well, we're blessed. Salvation Army moves us, to different places, and the army owns the houses. And apparently, years ago, somebody donated a pool table, and we don't have the room in the church, so
Oh,
it's in
oh
in our
wow.
finished basement.
Oh,
So
poor you.
I
Yeah.
know, it's so horrible. Even a messed up, jacked up pool table is something that I would never have dreamed of, 30 years ago, and I can say,
Yeah. Man, that's a blessing for sure.
yeah, and it is the appreciate. I love that you said that appreciation that you have for what you didn't have, and so that makes me think that I wanted to know. You said it there. You hone in on tech, which kind of got you started. How did that love and passion of tech? Because we see it especially video games and controllers and
Yeah.
other equipment. Where did that all start and come from?
Well, Michael, I'm an old man. um,
There you go.
yeah, no, I was in high school in the early '90s.
Mhm.
I graduated in '95, so to kind of like
Okay.
give you the time frame.
Yeah.
But so what that time frame. If you're around my age, I'm guessing you're
Yeah.
in that
I'm
range.
41. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so I didn't, there was no internet at the time. There was,
Right.
still had the cord phones at home. So, in high school, I would say it started probably in eighth grade, but really in high school, I lived in the computer lab because that was just, it was
Yes.
new. Like,
Right.
I didn't have a personal, no one had a personal computer at
Right.
home unless they
Right.
were really, really wealthy and had like an
Yep.
old Apple.
Right.
Well, I guess it would be new at the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had they had a newer Apple type of computer, but so the computer lab just enraptured me.
Yes.
I lived in there. I soaked it all up. I volunteered in there. It doesn't look like it, but I never went to lunch. I used to just stay in that computer lab, and I learned a lot. And then in '94, oh man, I was in a work study program, so this is my senior year.
Yeah.
Everyone got all these, and there's nothing wrong with it, like the grocery store jobs or McDonald's.
Right.
I was like, I'm working at this new place that just got built called Best Buy. I'm going to work there,
Oh, yeah.
and so funny little story if you want it, if you have time.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's give
Yeah.
it.
So I remember it was like November, October-ish. I went into Best Buy. It was on a Thursday because that's the day I had off, and I went into Best Buy and I applied and I said, "Do you have any positions?" And the manager's like, "No," at the desk. "No, we don't have any positions." So I walk around the store and look around. I come back next Thursday, and I was like, "Hey, just checking on the application, see if you got any positions." And he looked at me. It's like, "No, I remember I told you last week we don't have anything."
Right.
He's still being kind of nice, but you could tell.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, "All right," walk around the store. Week 3, that next Thursday, I come in and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Just looking for a position." I'm 17, 16
Yeah.
or 17 at this time, 16. And I'm just like, "I'm looking for it." And he said, "We don't have anything. We keep telling you." I'm like, "All right, I'm just checking."
Yeah.
Week 4, I walk in. He's at the desk. He's like, he's and he's like, "Man." And I said, "Hey, just say, I'm being all Mr. Happy Go Lucky." He pauses, irritated, looks at me. He stares at me down for like 10 seconds. And then he's like, "Get over here for an interview." Hired me on the spot, gave me the shirt. I was on the floor that day.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, that changed my trajectory of whatever I was going to do in life.
Yeah.
That single handedly turned everything because I know working in the computer department, and then
Right.
in '94 it was Windows 95 hadn't yet come out, so the explosion hadn't happened, but it was building.
Right.
People were so I learned so much. I would take the manuals home and just soak it up, and then yeah, and then Windows 95 came out and just yeah
Everything changed. Yeah.
everything changed, and I just from then I just loved the aspect because I was there. I know some
Yeah.
people were like who were born a little who were a little older than me. Yeah, I was there when the T1 or whatever. Like like I was like yeah, but I was there for the retail part where
Right.
you got to see these things go in people's houses. Like I was able to impact people's lives. Hey, you need this computer because
Right.
or you don't need this computer. I remember a lot of older ladies would come in and think they need a $4,000 computer to email their kid in the army,
Right.
the grandkid, and I'll say no, you don't need, and I'll get in trouble for that. But
Right.
I'm
Right.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not ripping off an old lady.
Yeah. 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 Best Buy's got their millions. They don't need
Yeah, yeah,
4,000 more. Yeah.
exactly. So I would always make sure they get the best value, and yeah, so kind of started there. And then I moved into education later. I was a tech coordinator at an elementary school. I started
Hmm.
as an assistant and kind of just moved into the tech thing because they realized, wait, you know how to do all this stuff? Okay, you're in charge. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you ever had a
Yep.
job like you know how that is, and then you end up doing every single aspect. I ended up building
Right.
their website. I didn't know how to build websites. I learned. Uh, I ran everything. I ran the whole school's tech,
You're
and I'm
here.
like, I'm
You're
new. I don't
you're
know.
talking me. You're talking me right now in the Salvation Army. Oh, you know social media. Oh, go ahead. You got this, man.
There
Yeah.
you go. So
Yeah.
so you
Click out.
get it. You get
I'm
it
there.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that and so it just kind of going with the job there. When did you transition? Your day job, and then realize maybe I can start talking about this online on this new thing called YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh, so that's a good story. So I was working at the school, and about 2006, I left. My principal's pushing. He was like, "You need to leave," and I was like, "Wait, you firing me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, no, no. I can tell you need to go help more schools." He said, "You need to start a business
Oh, that's
and
cool.
help more schools
Wow.
with what you're doing." So
Wow.
he was very instrumental in pushing me. So when I
Yeah.
left, I became a tech consultant for the Chicago Public Schools, and so I had like 50 something schools under my belt of
Wow.
doing tech consulting, website, and as I was all over Chicago doing
Yeah.
that for a few years. And then there were yeah one lowly night in 2008, we were on Christmas break, and I remember before we got on Christmas break, the district told me, hey, we need someone to record some classrooms because I was working under a federal grant, and
Mm.
we need some footage, and I was like, and everybody was silent, and I was like, I'll do it. I had no camera. I had
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I had no, but I was like, I'm there. Everybody's depending on me. So over the Christmas break, I bought a Sony cam, and I was like, well, I got to practice with this thing. So I made a couple, skits or shots, just try to understand the camera,
Right.
and I put a couple of them on YouTube because I thought, well, I put it there, then I could see it. Like I don't know
Right.
but I thought only I was looking at it.
Right. Right.
It was public. So I came back a couple weeks later, and I'm sitting there with 50 subscribers. I had no idea. I had 50 something subscribers, and people were like, oh, do more content, do. And I'm like, what? Where do these people come from?
Yeah.
And so I had no idea, and so that it kind of got birthed off an accident. This wasn't
Wow.
supposed to be a thing, and it
Right.
just kind of built up as I was doing my business, and eventually it became its own business.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And people got to realize. I mean, you said so 2006, right? I think YouTube was only a year or two old.
When I left the school, yeah, it was
Yeah.
2006. But I didn't. And here's the
Oh
thing:
yeah.
the schools were very anti YouTube at the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They blocked the YouTube
Blocked
because
it. Yep.
well, fights
Right.
and pirated content. It was today.
Right.
So me as a consultant doing it, and because they found out later I was doing, I wasn't. I'm my own boss, right?
Right.
I'm
Right.
just, and they were like, we heard you were on YouTube. What is going on? And I
Yeah.
explained what I was doing. I was just like, yeah, these are, and so it kind of got them. They started to realize the benefits. I'm not saying I single handedly got anything to change. But
No, yeah,
eventually,
yeah,
they removed those bans and things, and they saw the
yeah,
value because they didn't understand it at first. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah,
That
I'm
was a
building an
big thing.
audience.
Yeah,
It
that was a
was
big
yeah.
thing back then. I remember being a
Mm,
youth pastor. So I was a youth pastor, '01 to '04, and we had Facebook blocked, we had YouTube blocked, and we're like
yeah.
trying to say like, no, 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 you don't understand. This is how we can connect with the other kids, the teens. We can get messages through. We can pull up, video stuff.
No one got it.
No, back then and nowadays you think that's kids, or if you're watching this, you're probably like, what are you talking about? Our teachers use YouTube all the time. They
Yeah.
really were, and people had to open their eyes. Did you so then did they begin to support you and encourage you? And did you start then kind of did you take what you learned from being the consultant and working at Best Buy and then start to package that into your content?
Yeah.
Was that, kind of
Yeah.
stepping stones?
That's a great question. You never know at the time, right? I didn't sit there and say, I'm going to take all my experience but it just happened. Like I could look back and say, wow, my journey, everything was building up to what I do now on YouTube. Like
Mhm.
learning customer service would, I think is one of the most, I think, now this is old school of me saying this.
No, everybody should work
But
retail.
I think everybody should work retail for a few months. It should
Yeah,
be a mandatory 3 month thing because
absolutely.
even if like even somebody like you're in religious service,
Mhm.
anything like
Oh, yeah.
you need to learn to understand people, to
Mhm.
empathize, to understand why they're frustrated. There's so many
Right.
ranges of things that you get with people
Yeah.
working retail, and working retail was the foundation of me being able to work with kids.
Right.
I didn't have an experience with that
Absolutely.
before.
Right.
But I was effective with it because I understood retail. And you think about it in a classroom, you are selling to the kids.
Absolutely.
You are selling them education every single day. And if you're a poor salesperson, they're not gonna get what you're trying to what you're trying to
Mhm.
give them. So I just approached it in that way. I know it might sound a little like, oh, you selling to the kid? No. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just an analogy.
Right, right. You have
Um,
to make it you have to make it palatable. They have to be able
yeah.
to understand it, and that's selling. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so all of that just kind of came into YouTube, and then at the time, YouTube was very much a younger audience. So
Mhm.
I had a lot of kids watching because I was entertaining.
Right.
And so, that's why I have a lot who are adults now. It's like, I remember you 16 years ago. I have a family and kids now. I'm like, oh my God, please, I'm not that old.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, and I had a lot of youth, and there was some I would say some adults as well.
Right.
So I was catering content to just fit my audience. But yeah, everything I learned from consulting, from working retail, from working at the school, gave me the blueprint of how am I going to do this YouTube thing. And it's been largely successful. Like my core is tech. I still will always love
Mhm.
tech, but I've definitely ventured. I'm more of a, I
Pop
guess
culture.
if you have to give
Yeah.
me if you have to give me a rank, what is
A
it called, the
title.
title, I guess it would be,
Yeah.
my manager says lifestyle,
Yeah.
lifestyle kind of, and it's like, and it really is. It's me
Mhm.
living my life as a single black man living in LA. I don't
Mhm.
say this, but like it's really my diary. That
Right.
like yes,
Yeah.
I'm getting products from different companies, but I really, if I was to really just be that, I would have a video every day about some random product. I
Right.
really tailor it to things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I get offered 20 times what I put out in the videos,
Wow.
and I
Wow.
turn it down. And I
Yeah.
turn it down, yeah, because it really has to fit. I want my videos to be about my journey and
Yes.
this
Yeah.
things I like. So if I don't like that product, I'm not gonna. That's why you don't see a lot of videos of me bashing products because I pick what I like.
Right.
I'm not a typical reviewer.
Right.
I'm just living my life, and these are things that are enhancing my life. If you watch this, maybe these things can enhance your life too.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
that's the way I'm. So I'm still an educator in a way. I'm still, definitely a salesperson, I guess
Oh yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
still educating. Yeah.
No, and you literally are, content creation, people a lot of times people just are think it's just easy, just pick up a camera and stuff, but there's a vulnerability. literally we see your house, we see your kitchen, we see your living room, we see your
Yeah,
setup,
very
in
vulnerable.
there. And yeah, so you're opening yourself up, but at the same time it seems to me, as the reason I followed you was, you've said a couple times, your joy. You've made it fun, your facials, your reactions, your and even though you are very animated, you're very genuine. And so saying that you
Oh,
get stuff
thank you.
that you like, yeah, that's what we connect with and feel. And I go, yeah, I want to, man, I want that giant Green Ranger Funko. Like that's my
Dude.
boy, that
Yeah, yeah.
Tommy,
Yes.
like so. I really,
Hmm.
so that's, and I'm glad that you say that. But at the same time, I when I talk to people in content creation, and you've been doing it before content creation was a term, you know,
Very
um,
true.
it's not all rainbows and skittles. What are some of the trials and tribulations you've gone through in here, if you want to share, for people that think it's easy breezy, pick up a phone and go?
So before I get to like the negative of people, I
Yeah,
let me start with just the work itself because
yeah,
you brought that up, and yes, I'm a very honest person. I will acknowledge that this job I've created for myself is is definitely easier than what I've done.
right,
But I worked my butt off over 20 something years to get to this point. So
yes,
a lot of people don't see that, and so a lot of
right,
criticism. Oh, you get everything. And I'm just you're and I was like, if you only knew I had three jobs
right, right,
and at one time and many times, trying to run this, trying to build a business, but trying to also barely pay my rent.
right,
Like people never see the journey. So, but so it is easier.
right,
But when you're a solo, and I am a solo team as far as the creation,
hmm,
I do have a team that helps me with like the business part.
right,
But from and I just to be clear, I started with the wide form YouTube, the long form videos.
yes, yeah,
I recently, we can talk about why, but I recently,
yeah,
as of 2021, went to short form.
right,
But it's not, it's less time, but I'm still coming up with the idea. Sometimes it has to be outlined or scripted, just so I
yep,
can make sure I'm following. Especially when you're doing tech, you gotta.
right.
If I say megabyte and it's supposed to be gigabyte, oh boy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, no,
That
no.
company's calling you. Yeah.
The audience will
Yeah, oh,
eviscerate me. Yeah,
that's
because
true.
yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, it's hap- it's happened
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can almost picture the keyboards going right now,
He said what? No,
What?
I've done it a couple times. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. They eat me up. Yeah.
Right.
So so the yeah. So and then there's the actual recording of it.
Yeah.
And of course, there's times when I forget to put the mic on. I bet you've done that, and then you got to
I
record it
forgot that
again.
our name banners. 10 minutes in, I look up and I go, our names aren't on here. So yeah, that
It
happens all the
it
time.
happens, and then yeah. So yeah, I'm my own producer, I'm my own editor, and then the publisher,
Yeah.
and then after that, there's still marketing you have to do after that to nurture the content. So it's a lot of layers, and I'm not saying it gets easier once you. I've done hundreds, probably thousands of videos at this time,
Right.
by this point. So it gets easier, but it's still a challenge, and I think one of the biggest challenges, honestly, for me, it's just coming up with fresh stuff. Because remember,
Yeah.
I it's not. I also do videos that are not
Promo
products
videos.
in
Yeah.
hand.
Right.
But even that is just choosing the. Is this something I want to do? Am I feeling this?
Yeah.
And then I'm there's times where views aren't the greatest. I have to get my perspective, and because that's a few
Yeah.
thousand people is still a lot of people. Like a
Yep.
lot of people.
Right. We have
So I
to
have.
have to scale it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have like I have a considerable following, but sometimes some things just don't hit, and I
Right.
have to be okay with myself. It's like, hey, that's okay. It's out there into the world. Move on to the next thing.
Right.
So there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a burnout that
Yep.
happens with this type of thing. Sometimes doing too much content uh,
Yeah.
uh, will bring me down. And then we go into the audience. Now that has been there's not many jobs out there, Mike, where you are actively criticized for your during your job. I mean, there's politics, of
Yeah.
course. There's I'm sure there's some religious pastors, whatever, get
Right,
credit.
right. Yes,
You
yeah,
know,
sports and all that. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, and sports, but like
yeah,
really, there's not an everyday person's job. You don't
right.
have masses, hundreds of people, saying vulgar things
You're
about you or about your
yeah,
race or about just how you look or whatever. And so it was hard at first to get over that. I'm just like, why am I being attacked? And then, you know, you, you almost have to realize that with success, it's going to come the attacks because there's a range of reasons. It's easy to go towards jealousy, and that is a lot of it, or envy.
right,
But
right.
but and I mean that's actually a large part of it. But sometimes, yeah, people just don't also want you to exist or
Yeah,
want you to exist in that space. I don't
right.
want you to. Why are you the spokesperson? Why did Xbox send you that?
Yeah,
Why didn't they send it to me, or why didn't they send it to a better creator?
right.
And so trying to navigate that and just realizing, a lot of it are keyboard warriors,
Yep.
and most of the time they would never say the stuff if they were in your face.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah,
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was funny. I was at one E3, which is a gaming convention. Well, it's no
yeah.
more.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was years ago, and
Yeah.
this guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He took a picture. He's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know you blocked me last year." And so again, I've never had anybody come up in my face and say this. I'm like, oh
Right.
boy. So I'm like, oh, and he said it like, yeah, what's up? Why you do that?
Right.
And I was like, well, I said I don't remember because I don't
Yeah.
keep records of people. I said once you're blocked, you're blocked. I don't go back and look at it. I said you must have done something stupid.
Yeah.
To
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I said I'm not. I just don't block people. I was like,
Right.
you must have done or said something. He's like, yeah, but I was just kind of joking. I was like, I know. I said I said you may have, but I said I tend to know what jokes are,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I said it must have been serious enough. And yeah, but just somebody confronting, like, what are you about to do about it? And
Right.
he didn't. But I just said I'll look into it, and I
Go.
did. I went back and I was just like, but I don't want to make that a practice because there's just too many people right now who are just
Yeah.
trolls. So yeah, if I block you, you deserve it, and I don't,
Right.
and I just move on with with my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to be confronted by it was kind of wild. So
Yeah, imagine so, and that is it. It's the epidemic of this communication age, and it people, everybody has a voice. I tell I preach
hmm
on all the time. Everybody has a voice, and
yeah,
they want to be the loudest in the room, and but they're too afraid to actually have a voice to actually say it and stuff, and they speak
yeah,
behind there. I wasn't going to hit on it, but I do want to. You just kind of briefly mentioned it, and I kind of want to say thank you on this. Just a quick Reader's Digest insight into my background. I grew up very poor. I grew up in the projects in Erie, PA, and I was I have a lot of black friends, and there is a stereotype in that community that's there. And I now work with kids, and I see uh, sometimes the struggle of young black kids wanting to be prominent in this space. And so first I want to say thank you, because I think you are a great inspiration and there.
appreciate that.
And so, I don't want to get into all your struggles, but I wanted to take a point to say that I've used
This is very
you.
open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've actually used you as an example um, to some of the kids that maybe feel like, from other kids that look like them, or kids that don't. Do you feel, I guess I'll ask this then, do you feel
Mhm.
any responsibility, or not responsibility, that's maybe not the right word, um, opportunity is probably a better word, that you get to be kind of that voice in that space when a lot of times there aren't,
Yeah.
single black men, as you put it, in that space.
I think both words work.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said both because I feel both
Yeah.
sometimes. And, I have struggled with it. And sometimes I still do in the past and what to do about that.
Yeah.
There's some, what's the word? I'll just say guilt sometimes, but there's some guilt that stems. I don't think that's the right word, but there's some guilt that stems. It's like, man, I'm doing all this. I'm so much successful in it. I feel like I feel like I should be doing more. And
Yeah.
and my friends around me correctly, just like you said, say, dude, your existence on the
Yeah.
internet. being
It's huge.
positive is the thing.
It is.
Is the thing you're doing, and so that's helped me because I'll get into my feelings and wonder what can I do, and I don't publicize it, and this is probably where it's a catch 22 because
Yeah.
if and I've done it before. Like there's a school I chose because there's a thing called I'm sure you heard of it, DonorsChoose.org.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, so I contributed there over years. I used to work at a school actually, as I
Right.
said.
Right.
So
Right.
I try to help teachers when I can. I usually I just stay anonymous.
Yeah.
I'll say, hey, what schools are locally? I'll give them money or take care of their stuff.
Yeah.
There was one school I did in Inglewood in here in LA in the Los Angeles area, and they had a gaming club. And this was
Oh
like five
yeah.
years back. They had a gaming club to kind of keep the high. It was a new high school. They were kind of keep
Yeah.
the kids off the street type of thing. So I
Right.
was like, oh yeah, I took care of what all their stuff because they didn't have anything really. They
Mm-hmm.
had like old broken systems, and
Of course.
so I did that. My name, I thought it was anonymous. It accidentally was public.
Okay.
so
Yeah.
so so the teacher's like, I guess she looked me up. She's like, oh my god, you helped. You got to come in and talk to the kids and stuff. And I felt a little weird about that, but I did.
Yeah.
I mentioned it in a video. This story is going somewhere, I promise.
No, I do,
Um,
dude. We're on your time, so we're
okay.
good. Yeah.
I went to this to school. Now I mentioned this in one of my videos because I was packing up a crate,
Hmm.
uh, and there was two types of comments. There was, oh god, you're doing one of those I'm donating stuff again type of things, and you're just doing it for views. So I got that, and then you got the people, hey, I appreciate you showing this. This was so nice, blah blah. And so this has happened a couple times when I've mentioned it. And don't get me wrong, there are people who make videos of they go up to a homeless person and they got
Yeah.
the camera rolling and here's $100 so they can get.
Right.
I get it, but I don't do that, and I
Right.
don't like being associated. Like I want to be able to show people that I do have a giving spirit, but
Hmm.
I also can get attacked for it
Hmm.
for doing this. Like I can't win.
Right. Of course
I
not.
get, and so I'm still struck. I still do it. I still help. I just
Right.
decide whether I would show it public or not. I think showing it public is still for the greater good.
Yeah.
And here the main reason how you open up talking about me. I get a lot of products, and a lot of people don't know because I don't always do follow up videos. They think I have a warehouse in my house
Right.
or a
Right. Right.
garage just full of all this stuff, and it's not true.
Right.
I give away about 90% of it,
Hmm.
and I just don't publicize it, and
Yeah.
it goes through layers. I see if my local friends need anything, and then I do focus on like need sometimes. I have an extra phone. Like I actually have an extra phone for a friend now. She has an old 5-year-old phone, and it's old. I happen to have a pretty newer phone, and
Yeah.
she's going to get that. So I have a system of giving away. I'll give away to the audience when I can, when it
Mhm.
makes sense. Giveaways online are very like I
Yeah.
really didn't want the one you want. I didn't want to do myself, and because if you number one, it has to be U.S. only for most
Right.
giveaways, and
Yeah.
so the international audience is angry at me.
Right.
Then of course people who don't win are angry at me,
Right. Right.
and it's
Right.
just it's a fuss. It's a pain in a butt, and I still know it's still good to do. It's just
Yeah.
giveaways are annoying. so so
I'm thankful for the one I got. I'll just
no,
say that one.
I'm
So if you
thankful
don't
you
want to
got
do
it.
any, if you don't want to do any more from now on, like I understand. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. You got yours,
I got
but
mine. I'm out. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll give them away, and then eventually, kind of have a system, so they'll sit in my garage for a little bit as
Yeah.
people come over, and then at a certain point, uh, usually it's either Children's Hospital if it's sealed.
Right.
They have a rule about that, or
Right.
Goodwill. Have not thought of Salvation Army honestly. I honestly didn't know they still around. We used to shop there when I was younger, so
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with Salvation Army, and I actually loved the store. It was I know in my head I know exactly where it is in Chicago, the North Side.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there. I hope it is, but That was a long time ago.
Well,
But
if you
yeah,
don't, and if you didn't know, by the way, anything you bought from the store supports our drug and alcohol rehab centers to make them free for people. So there's a commercial for the store, real quick.
there you go.
If you
No, that's
shop,
good. No,
that's what that money goes to.
that's great. That's great to know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So I picked
yeah,
Goodwill because it was just
yeah. It's
near.
there. Yeah, no worries.
And I get, so I just had a layer way of
Right.
giving. So I give a lot of this stuff out because I don't want to be a hoarder,
Yeah.
and also it's just an appreciation thing. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I only need so many controllers. I only
Right.
need so
Right.
many,
Yeah.
yeah, so much stuff. So I do give. I just struggle with the how do I let people know this without coming off as, oh, he look at him promote himself, and
Right.
I don't have an answer to that. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
still a struggle.
well, and I think you said it perfectly. Your friends told you, you being in this space and being a face is it really is helpful. And a couple young men that I talked to that you know were wanting to be in the tech space, and kids in general, just as a way to know that you can be appreciative of what you get, you can enjoy what you do. That's the point of this podcast. Is you have a passion, go for it.
Yes.
That's there. You have it for a reason. God gave it to you for a
Mm-hmm.
reason, we believe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then with that, I got two more questions for you, and the one is how about the opposite? We know talk about the struggles, but what was the moment where you went, man, I get to do this. Like, I can't believe I get to do this.
When I started doing the unboxings, remember I told you it's
Hmm.
kind of from the accident.
Yeah.
But then I'll never forget my first product I got from a company because I was buying my stuff in the beginning.
Right.
I mean, I still do, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just buying it, unboxing. But
Yeah.
a company, I think it was like 2010, 2011, when I got my iPad. I guess they saw that video. They sent me a stand, and I don't remember the company. It was a small, but it meant the world. I was like, uh, you sending me a free,
Yeah.
I understood marketing, right? I've been in
Yeah.
marketing,
Yeah.
I know what it is, but still,
Right.
my mind was, you chose me
Yeah.
to do this, and then it just kept going. Then we go into, now Nintendo is sending me their amiibos. I was the first person with another creator named I Justine. We were the first ones to showcase those little amiibo toys.
Yeah.
At that point, and then that's, then of course they start blowing up. uh not the toys, the videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um I was like, I get to open packages and pay my rent, pay my bills,
Right.
and really enjoy it. And you know what it is, Michael, for me? I'm glad you asked that question because your podcast is about, the passion, the joy. And unboxing has become a passion because it's like opening a present every single day. It really is to me. You mentioned a Christmas effect, but yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that, and yes, that go, there's some childhood stuff where I didn't get to. I don't dwell on it. It is what,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Right.
I think it just comes from a point, a source of gratefulness. I'm so grateful that a Microsoft
Yeah.
knows who I am and will send me something that has no one else I get early. No one
Right.
has this. I
Right.
get to do it. Or all these different, every major gaming company. I've worked with Procter and Gamble. I've worked with, and they own
Yeah.
too much stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
uh,
A third of the world. Yeah.
yeah. Frito Lay,
Yeah.
all these different companies, and I'm just like, wow. I sit here sometimes. I'm like, wow. I the position I'm in, the context I have, and the impact that I have, it just gives me such a responsibility to keep this keep this going in such a positive way,
Yes.
because there's so many creators I see, unfortunately, who just they take this for granted. They don't take it seriously. I have an agent who handles the financial part of when I do
Hmm.
brand deals, and she tells me, like, sometimes, because I'll do, brand deal, I submit it because they have deadlines and things. You submit the video
Right,
for them
right.
to review. And she just told me one time, we were meeting in person. She's like, I want you to know that I have bigger creators than you, and you are the only one that is timely. You get it right. There's no complaints, and the brands end up loving you for that. And I was like,
Yeah.
you can't be serious. You can't. There. She's like, no. She's like, don't go by sides. She's a lot of these people. He has to fight to even open an
Wow.
email. Like they're getting like I found
They're
out
getting paid for it.
what they
Yeah.
get paid. They get paid in the
Oh,
high five figures, and they're
damn.
like, oh, I gotta, or they're late on it, and I'm like, you give you give me $500.
Yeah.
I'm a and for a video to get out, and it took me 10 minutes to make. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, because again, I know where I came from. $500 is $500. I mean, I do make
Yeah.
more than that, but I'm like, and if to see these people like disregard $50,000
Right.
as like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it.
It's insane.
I can't comprehend that, Mike.
Yeah.
I can't comprehend that lack of appreciation. And I'm like, they didn't have to choose you. There are so many other people. Give me the 50,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, for real. For real.
I'll take that.
You want a week's worth of videos? Sure, I got you.
I don't
Yeah.
have to sleep.
Yeah.
No,
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
sleep
but
later with that 50,000 in my bank.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Knowing that the Ferrari's coming. Uh,
I don't. And I'll never buy that car, but yeah.
no, yeah, yeah. Well, I personally love to hear that, and I get to have people on here, and when I get people on here, I get people that I feel like I can uh, get behind, and I can tell my kids to go ahead and watch and be fans of
Yeah,
and stuff
that's
like that.
cool.
And you check those boxes, and I love that you want to keep it happy and keep it joyful, and learning that respect of what you get, because that's what it comes down to. You're respecting the company, you're respecting yourself, your brand, your name, your
Yes.
legacy. Even in our
Hmm.
conversations, you made sure to respect that, and I love that about your content. Well, uh, as I give you your flowers, I before we go, I want to ask you one question that I ask everybody at the end of the show,
Sure.
and it's a simple question but a hard question.
Hmm.
What would Lamar now tell 12-year-old Lamar?
Oh wow. Um, that is a good question.
It
There's
is.
so there's so there's so much. Here's the crazy part. In my when I was 12, I was in foster care. There was a lot of things
Oh,
that was going on. I would
yeah,
I would I would tell him to keep persevering. It's going to be okay, because I didn't know it was going to be okay.
yeah,
I didn't know what was going to happen. So I just immersed myself in what I read. I read so much. I was a bookaholic.
yeah.
Um, I read. I just kept saying, hey, I mean, there was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubting, but yeah, I would go back and just say, hang in there, because I may end up being bigger in person, but I'm gonna be a,
Yeah,
but it's going to be okay.
right.
No, I'm just joking, but no, yeah, I would. That's such a good question. I've thought about it. Well, yeah, if I went back,
Yeah,
it was a sad time. It was a sad. It was like nothing critical, but it's just, when
yeah,
it was just sad.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I would tell myself to hang in there. That it gets so much better, and it is so much better. And I'm not just talking about financial.
right.
Like my
No, yeah,
my
yeah,
my perspective on life, just my perspective of everything, the universe and all that. It's just I'm just more well rounded than of course I was back then.
right.
And just world is scary for a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
You have a
yeah.
you
It
have a
is.
12-year-old.
I have a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he may not tell you, but
No, yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's yeah, but it's a scary time. Your body's going through stuff. You love your parents one day and you can't stand them the next, and
Right.
your teachers. There's so much and expectations and things on you at that age, and There's the times I slipped up and I was like, this, I'm not going to make it. And yeah, I would just hold my hand and tell them, you got it.
And that's a great, that's it doesn't matter if you're 12, 20, or 70. That's a great message that there's hope that's still out there. And I said to someone who's in the writing realm and graphic design and does movies and stuff, and I was a friend of mine, I was chatting with him, and I just said to him, you know, even baby steps forward is still forward motion. you know
I
you
like that.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. And so having that hope that something else is there, as long as you keep moving, I think that's the best way to go. I love that message.
Thank you. I had a
Yeah.
teacher tell me once, uh, she asked, how do you eat an elephant? I'm like, why are you asking me that? And she said, one bite at a time.
One bite at a
And
time.
of
Yeah.
course I laughed. That's
Right.
hilarious. But I got what she was saying. It's a monumental, yeah, just that you'll eventually one day you'll eat it if you
Yeah,
like
yeah,
elephants,
exactly. Yeah. Well, it's one thing
but
I've
don't eat
tried a
elephants
lot, but
because
not
I
that.
love
No,
I love
yeah.
elephants. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
eat
yeah.
them. But
And I think it's illegal right now, so don't go there
that's
and do
good.
that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
We'll
Yeah.
stick with the burgers. Well, well, Lamar, I'm so thankful, and I know we went a little bit longer than I may have said, but I loved
Oh, I'm
having this
fine.
conversation. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want to go ahead and plug your stuff and tell people where to go and find you?
Yeah, so you can just type in anywhere, Google, Bing. I use Bing in case you, in
Hey,
case you
there we
don't.
go.
You want to feel validated. I use Bing.
Yeah.
But yeah, go to Lamar Wilson is Lamarr. That's my first name, Wilson. And I'm there all the socials. I'm not on X, but I'm on all the socials and yeah, I do a lot of lifestyle type content, but it's heavily tech, gaming, pop culture, and it's a good time. I talk about products I have or things that are going on in the world, in my world, and I just think it's a good time. I think you'll enjoy the content.
Absolutely. I sign off on that 1000%. You will get a smile, and unless you are a collector of things in the box, because if you want to watch Lamar's content, you're screwed. He is just going to rip that box up, and you're going to
I'm gonna
feel
tear it
that
up.
pain. It's just going to be
The
gone.
Funko people, the Funko company loves me.
Oh,
The
yeah.
company,
Yes.
but they when they share one of my videos, or I worked with them on some paid
Ooh,
stuff,
yeah.
that audience was like, "Why does he work with you? He tears up the box." And the Funko people don't care. They don't.
Right. Yeah,
They're like, "Hey, you bought it, whatever." And
yeah.
they think it's hilarious that yeah, they that audience in particular gets so mad at me, and a
Yeah.
lot of it is playful. I don't think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
real violent mad, but
No, no, no.
yeah, it's like,
They
what are
should
you doing?
Funko should have you out at one of the cons and like present a giant pop and just have you tear the box at the con.
Oh, I
Just
have a friend that works at Funko. I
yeah,
need to
oh,
talk to her to do that at the next Comic
yeah.
Con or something.
Yeah, just pull off like they have the big ones that they have displayed, put it in a
Yeah,
box, pull the cover off of it, and you're all happy, and then you come up and just tear it down and expose the pop.
this is happening. This is happening. And when it does, you're gonna get credit, and I'll make sure. Yeah, this is
have
happening.
Funko bring us out, and I'll watch and I'll record it for you,
There
and
you
we'll
go.
we'll make the content together. That'd be
There you
awesome.
go. There you
Well,
go.
Lamar, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your content.
Thanks for having me.
My family loves you, and I definitely sign off. Anybody watching, just go ahead and go and watch, and go back and watch older stuff too. It just it help you binge to get a smile on your face. And so,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure if you're watching, you subscribe. If you're listening, you subscribe. We're gonna have more people with some incredible jobs and things that lifestyles and where they just did what they loved, and we want you to follow them and hopefully get some inspiration. So thank you for coming out. Thank you, Lamar, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye bye.